Hello and welcome. This is attempt number 3 or 4 of this video. I'm sick and I've been eager to make it, but I'm still recovering, so there's a bit of brain fog. There are some tips and tricks for how to spice up your lightning. If there's anything that I don't quite explain well enough, or something I just do and you're like, wait, what was that? Leave a comment, timestamp, question. I'll reply to every single one because there might only be a handful. Because I'm not very popular. I'm going to record some source material with some paper that I've already tried to record because I've attempted this video too many times. Let's go. Cool, great. Source material, done. Vibrato by Melda Production. In one of my previous videos I said M-Audio because I'm a dummy dum-dum. Great tool that I like to use, but I use it a lot more as a tremolo than vibrato because it's got this little tremolo knob, which is lovely. First way I kind of found out I liked to use this was when I discovered this step sequencer. You increase the number of steps to 32 and then you give your mouse a little wiggle, like a little like that, and then you can, in a controlled manner, randomize the steps, and it gives this cool little effect. Let's just turn all this nonsense off. If we turn the steps up and smooth it a bit, reset these and listen to this. Yeah, it's that cool kind of glitchy sound. If we turned the vibrato depth up, you get this cool wing kind of stuff. You do whatever you want with these tools. Mess around with it. Go crazy. This is how I learn and discover things. I just mess around with the tools I have. If we turn the steps down and mess around with this shape knob and turn the smooth down, you get more chaos. It's pretty cool. Tremolo phase, play around with that. You probably want to be working with better source material. Doesn't sound amazing to me, but it's just some tips and tricks here. We're not trying to make some beautifully crafted game ready asset. So moving on, phaser. Just add some cool kind of stuff and mess around with the rate, the mode, and with feedback. Oh, got some saturation. Speaking of saturation, this is another awesome tool. One of my most used plugins. I love it. But for lightning, if we turn the mode up to one of these clip ones and turn the harmonics on, you adjust the percentages of these different harmonic thingies. I don't know. I don't read what they do, I just listen to it and that sounds cool. I can't give you much technical advice on how these plugins work, but I can show you how cool they how damn cool they are. I can't talk because I'm unwell. So yeah, listen to this. Turn the output down, it can get pretty crazy. I find that just doing real minor tweaks with this is really cool. See how it adds that crackly stuff? It's really cool. If we keep what I've done there, turn this disperser on, which is a fan favorite, we all love it, but I don't love it that much. I like to just use little touches here and there. Don't overuse this. I hear it everywhere. It's so frustrating because it's an easy out for making something cool, because it is really cool. It's a really cool plugin, but if you put it on everything, it's not going to be that cool. Just here and there, tastefully. Up in the high end here, if you pinch it a bit, it sounds kind of cool for some zippy zappy stuff. That's cool. If we turn the vibrato back on, yeah, it's pretty nice. And then we've got this other lovely tool, Valhalla Frequency Echo. If you play around with the delay, it gets these cool, almost ring moddy kind of stuff. I think it's one of those things where you just add a little bit here and there, as it can get a bit, I don't know, it sounds a bit cheap sometimes. One cool thing is having something like NVK Create, which is recording with NVK Record almost all the time when something's playing. And then if you want a free alternative, there's Global Sampler. So if you have something like that and you play back your audio and mess around with different knobs, you get some cool results. Not that cool, actually. I think I prefer using Melda Frequency Shift. careful with the feedback. It can get crazy. I like that little transient there. Pitch that down. Well, that's cool. That's very nice. I'm gonna reverse that. Yeah, I guess that's just an example of what you can do with NVK Create and Global Sampler. And then if we added some of the cool effects that we have on there, let's add some disperser, why not? Well, that's kind of cool. And then let's add in the vibrato. What you could do, this is another good tip. I've got this cool script, this parameter history thingy. Search it up. The last thing you've touched, it'll come up here. So we can go mod and modulate the tremolo with the input. But this way we can make sure we get that transient, and then we'll do the same with the depth. That way it won't apply all the crazy stuff until we've heard that poof, that transient. That's pretty cool. We can EQ it because nice. Anyway, I'm not super happy with that sound, but it's good enough. We could add some transient shaping in, which if you turn the speed all the way up, you can get a lot of the cracky, like lightning stuff. You can really hear it there. Cool, moving on. We've got this other really cool plugin called Freeform Phase. This is kind of like Disperser actually. You're messing around with the phase, moving phase around. First thing I like to do is when I open it up, how do I reset this? Default, whatever. Depth, usually at 100. When I open it up, just go like that, mess around with these bands like crazy. You can change the mode a bit, get some weird stuff going on, but listen to this. Yeah, gotta be careful of the highs in there. Yeah, pretty awesome. But if we move along, got more to show you. Autopan, if you're making probably more like constant kind of stuff, really good to just, I don't know, liven things up a bit. Similar to what I did with the vibrato. I didn't do it there, but if you turn the noise up, you can turn the smooth off, like off, not off, down-ish. Just turn the depth down. I don't know, sometimes I like adding it to Lightning, makes it a bit more chaotic. Good old frequency shifter. I love this thing. I use it all the time to change the tone of the sound basically. That's kind of how I spice up my lightning and electricity. I hope there's some little tips and tricks you can take away from this. Yeah, anyway, I probably should shut up. Any questions? Leave them down below. If you're wondering why I keep looking up so much, that's why. This is my, if I'm sitting up straight, this is my line of sight. But if I sit back in my chair, I get to look up and work away. It's quite nice actually. And yeah, it's my paper from before. Wow, amazing. Little post-credit scene for you, a little behind the scenes.